2006 and on Zingo TV on Chromecast and all smart TVs 2016 forward. Please remember to download the BarnBurner and Zingo TV apps in their respective app stores. Both are free on both iOS and Android devices. So this is an interesting show just because a lot has happened recently in the National Women's Hockey League. And while I did touch a lot on this yesterday during the NWHL cooldown, the NWHL saw a day of transition into what's going to become years of transition with a new business model in place. And with the new business model in place also means now, the financial restructuring was part of this, and what that means is that the Board of Governors was reconstructed. Some were let go, others are staying, but now the Board of Governors, which is a group of private investors, has gone down from whatever the number was to 6, which matches the team totals. So each member of the Board of Governors will be responsible for a select organization in the NWHL, just focusing on that one and one only, which is really interesting. But, that's going to be part of, okay, how can we help see these teams thrive? Anyways, that being said, it's not just going to be up to them. It's going to be up to the league's new and flashy commissioner. Yes, you heard me right. The new and flashy commissioner, Danny Ryland, has stepped down from her role of commissioner after spending 5 years in the role, also being the founder of the National Women's Hockey League. So it's been reported that she is going to stay on, despite the fact that she stepped down from the commissioner side of things. And in doing so, she now joins what she's calling Women's Hockey Partners. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow her to be the president of the Minnesota Whitecaps, the Connecticut Whale, the Metropolitan Riveters, and what team am I missing? And it's one of these days, but I think you get the point that she's going to be the president of 4 large organizations now, the Buffalo Beauts being the last of it. And so that's to get them privately owned as well. So, I think that that's going to be a really interesting venture. And the reason I say that is because the Toronto Six, as it is, are privately owned. They are owned by John and Joanna Boynton. And not only that, but joining the Boynton family was Tyler Tumminia, who was the chairman of the Toronto Six. However, in order to take on this new role, to go with the restructuring idea, Ryland spoke with Tumminia, and Tumminia, as such, agreed to step down from her role as chairman and join the NWHL as interim commissioner. So some really interesting bits there. I don't think anyone saw this coming. However, that being said, Tumminia has a background in marketing and sponsorships, and I think will be the ideal person to help grow the National Women's Hockey League to further pro standards in the coming years. Now, as such, Ryland in her new role will be overseeing operations and the process of establishing independent ownership for the remaining 4 teams who aren't privately owned. The other privately owned team is the Boston Pride, owned by Cannon Capital and managing partner Miles Arnone. This is all to help create a new model and further ensure the long-term sustainability of women's professional hockey in North America, as stated by the press release. Now, if you look at Tyler Tumminia, because she is the talking point here of 6 and Sticks for this focus, being the poking point right now. Before her role as chairman of the Toronto Six, Tumminia was the senior vice president of Gold Clan Group, where she was responsible for operating 5 minor league baseball teams, including overseeing the team's marketing and broad-scale sponsorship operations and communications efforts. So she's certainly got experience in a vast area, which is great because everything that she's had practice in will only help her to succeed. As she now succeeds Danny Ryland as commissioner of the NWHL. Anyways, so this is a massive change. However, the reason for this, again, is to align the team's interests with, the deservingly so, pro standards that the NWHL, along with other women's pro leagues, deserve. So as such, this is the same approach that as the press release states, is used by the National Hockey League, National Football League, as well as Major League Baseball. So, the league will now take the form of an unincorporated association with the Board of Governors, each representing a member club. And this, again, will thereby ensure alignment of interest between the league and its teams. Anyways, so in a statement from John Boynton, husband of Joanna, the Toronto Six owner, he says, "For everyone who cares deeply about the NWHL and women's hockey, especially our incredible athletes and impassioned fans, this is a landmark day signaling the start of a new era of growth. It begins with governance and a new structure and will result in major steps forward for the league on the ice, in our arenas, and as a business." Anyways, that to be said, Tuminia, the former Six chairman, said in a statement, "This is a time of opportunity and transformation for the National Women's Hockey League, and the changes we are making across the league will fortify a foundation for continued success and well into the future. I look forward to collaborating with our partners in the NWHL, with that, she goes on to finish saying, and our expanding community of fans to create a special place that honors the rich talent of women's hockey." That to be said, this was in a statement from the board with respect to Danny Ryland, who Tuminia now takes over for. "We would like to thank Danny for her role in founding the league and bringing it to where it is today. Danny has made an enormous impact on women's hockey and led the NWHL from inception through its first 5 seasons, setting the stage for the next phase of growth," Andy Skirdo, who is on the Board of Governors alongside Boynton, said. "Tyler brings a wealth of relevant experience, and we are confident that she will help take the league to the next level." So it's interesting because just last week, Danny Ryland put out a tweet saying to her followers and fans of the NWHL, name one team, one market in the US, one market in Canada that you would like to see an expanded NWHL franchise in. And this obviously comes on the hands of the Toronto Six, who haven't even started play yet. Yet Danny Ryland was looking at again, another possible expansion. Now, talking of expansion, the Toronto Six landed in Toronto after discussions fell prior from the CWHL around the time that they folded, of picking up the Toronto Furies and Les Canadiens de Montréal. And so conversations were, okay, can we take on 2 teams? And if not, can we create a team in one, if not both cities? Anyways, so it came down to one, and the market heavily landed on Toronto being the city for the new team, as they're going to do this once at a time. And Toronto became the second expansion team in the National Women's Hockey League, following the footsteps of the Minnesota Whitecaps, who play at Trio Rink in St. Paul, which is the training rink of the Minnesota Wild of the NHL. Anyways, so that to be said, part of the reason that Tuminia might actually thrive here is because of all that experience, and part of her job as such, as I wrote in my recent column at thepuckauthority.com, is for a number of reasons. And this is to attract major brands with regards to not just what they have, such as rehab equipment, clothing, etc., but it's to agreed to a broadcast rights deal with a major network, especially after their Twitch deal expires after the 22-23 season, to stream all NWHL games, which happen on weekends. But this is to further garner interest in the National Women's Hockey League, and with someone of her stature, in the position, I think this sets up the league for long-term success just from the get-go. And so she becomes an ideal candidate to step in and guide the league upon their venture of change. So that to be said, because I spoke of this yesterday on the NWHL cooldown, I think I'm going to end it there. But I should note that Tuminia was hired by the Toronto Six by Digit Murphy, who was named as team president before the official announcement of the team launch back in April. Anyways, that really does it for this particular subject. But I think that part of what, before I move on, what Tuminia is going to bring is, while she works at the NWHLPA, I think she's also going to help to further increase salaries to, beyond what it was this past season, which was $15,000 for the highest paid player. And I think that that's, a huge, with huge credit to Danny Ryland, who's made, all this happen, making paid women's hockey at the pro level possible in the United States, following the footsteps of the CWHL, who really only paid in the last couple of seasons and what was known, again, as I noted yesterday, a modest stipend. Anyway, so too many's responsibilities will be things like that, attracting partnership deals with major brands, broadcast rights, among other things mentioned. So I look forward to seeing what happens moving forward. So I think that this is tremendous. And while the NWHL by some has gone unrecognized, along with women's hockey as it is having gone long unrecognized, I think Tuminia will be the perfect fit to help work and change that narrative. This is obviously a period of adjustment, and this is a new start, and a fresh face can't hurt, and having Tumania do it for Ryland again is tremendous. And so the fact that they were able to pull off this deal as it is says a lot. Anyways, so with her newest challenge set out before her, Tumania concluded with her sights set on the future. I look forward to collaborating with our partners in the NWHL and expanding our community of fans to create a special place that honors the rich talents of women's hockey, as I stated before. She's got a very special dedication to this league, especially given that she agreed to be at the Toronto Six before this, in a ownership position. So she's highly thought of. She brings a resume that's beyond impressive, and it also makes room for noticing that talented women can have positions in sports in front offices, and that's something that has long become questioned. And the Seattle Kraken are one of those teams who really believe in that. Cami Granado, U.S. team great, is in their front office. So is their stats analyst, as well as Todd Lywicki's go-to. For anyone who saw that announcement upon reveal on that day at the new arena, I think you get a sense that this is just like the Toronto Six and the National Women's Hockey League, they believe in women and what women can do in sports. So that being said, let's now transition to something a little bit different. So the Toronto Six, they announced a partnership a long while back, August 19th, with Stark Hockey, to be outfitted from gloves to sticks to all sorts of other things, hockey bags, etc. But this wasn't their only, private partnership, alongside the league. The Toronto Six also announced a partnership on October 9th with Canadian clothing company Peau de Loup. And as per the press release, Peau de Loup is a Vancouver-based clothing company, and the agreement was to launch 3 shirts in collaboration with 3 Toronto Six players, Kristen Barbara, Jenna McParland, and Sarah Evkatu-Godbout. And then they will also have some outfitted for Toronto Six executives, Joanna Boynton, Tyler Tuminia, and Digit Murphy. It's unknown if Tuminia will still be in the mix. I assume that she would be, but that's just curiosity kicking. Anyways, by outfitting 6 players in management in sleek custom shirts, the partnership will raise awareness of Peau de Loup's work in redefining women's wear and amplify the shared message of both organizations, striving to empower and include women and girls across Canada. So, in a statement from team president Digit Murphy, she said, "Partnering with Peau de Loup is an opportunity to collaborate in a meaningful way with a company that shares our goals. By outfitting our players and management in sleek new shirts, the partnership will amplify the shared message of our organization in PDL, striving to empower and include women and girls across Canada." So, that to be said, founded by Vancouverites Adele Renaud and Aaron McLeod, who is a professional soccer player who has represented Canada internationally, Peau de Loup is a trailblazing women's wear brand whose mission is about so much more than creating a cool shirt. The company strives to create clothing that makes people feel the same on the outside as they do on the inside, and support similarly minded organizations with partnerships like this. Renaud then went on to say, "We're excited about this partnership, and we look forward to celebrating Canada's first NWHL team and highlighting the power and authenticity of women trailblazing a path in sport and business." So, as if that wasn't enough, the Six Players and management will collaborate with PDL to each release new shirt designs that are reflective of their style. The Six and Pew de Loop have agreed to donate 10% of all purchases to the Toronto-based Sick Kids Foundation, which fights for and invests in the health and well-being of children. That being said, in a statement from Adam Starkman, Vice President of Corporate Partnerships for the Sick Kids Foundation, he said, "Sick Kids relies on the community, and we are excited to see the Toronto Six step up in this way. The funds raised will go towards our Sick Kids versus Limits campaign to build a new, safer Sick Kids with more room for families and more room for innovative technologies that will deliver better outcomes for children in Canada and around the world." So to learn more about this partnership, you can go to toronto.nwhl.zone. And to learn more about Pew de Loop, you can go to www.pewdeloup, that is PEAUDELOUP.com. Anyways, so along with their agreement with Sick Kids and what Sick Kids is all about, for those of you unfamiliar, you can visit them at www.sickkidsfoundation.com. Anyways, so that being said, just to give you a better understanding of Pew de Loop and who they are and what they do, Pew de Loop is redefining feminine etiquette in women's wear by creating functional, well-made, and timeless apparel. Growing up as Tomboys, founders Adele Renaud and Aaron McLeod were acutely aware that the retail clothing experience wasn't built for them. While reflecting on her path as a menswear designer, Renaud realized that her career choice was a reflection of her style of identity, an identity that wasn't well represented in retail. So the description goes on to say, they stole it from the boys and made it to fit them. Cheeky, classic, strong. For more on Pew de Loop's mission, visit and purchase shirts, visit pewdeloop.com. So it's important to realize that part of this deal was, to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. At the same time, to represent women is huge with this deal. So, if you go to their website now, the Toronto Six are the face of this website, and it also says the Toronto Six takeover to give back, with Sick Kids beneath it. So they say we join forces with them to release our new collection because of what they stand for on and off the ice. Let me introduce you to some of the strong women behind the making of the Toronto Six. So anyways, the designs are actually up on the website now at pewdeloop.com, and a little description of why each clothing item was picked. Anyways, so while I'm going to just briefly describe what each kind of looks like, the first is Joanna Nielsen Boynton, owner of the Toronto Six. So in a brief description about Boynton herself, she played 4 years at Harvard, serving as captain for 2 seasons, and is the CEO and co-founder of Boynton Brennan Builders. Joanna chose this short sleeve poplin as her go-to take her from as her go-to to take her from the office to the boardroom and all the meetings she has in between. This is a pink short sleeve shirt with white stripes, throughout. Anyways, so that being said, you can shop Boynton when you click shop Boynton on pewdeloop.com. Next is Tyler Tuminia, chairman of the Toronto Six. So Tuminia is a sports team owner and executive. Most recently, Ty was named one of the top 25 female executives by Bleacher Report and received the Game Changer Award from Sports Business Journal. So her outfitted choice is a leafy black linen blend shirt, and the description says Ty decided to choose this playful cotton linen blend with a dark navy background and a contrast water-based white print. So you can shop Tuminia where it says shop Tuminia. Anyways, Digit Murphy, it says as the president of the Toronto Six, she has more than 3 decades of experience leading teams at Brown University and in the Canadian Women's Hockey League. Digit chose our long sleeve poplin with a funky black and white retro print. So you can shop Murphy where it says shop Murphy. And there are pictures below that show Jenna McPartlin, Kristen Barbara, and Sarah Epcot to Godbout sporting some of these items at Kenlin Ice Sports, soon to be home of the Toronto Six in the National Women's Hockey League. So it also shows their item choices below, and you can visit Pew de Loop online and in person. For those of you in Vancouver, they are now open Saturdays and Sundays from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. So a huge initiative by both sides. And for Sick Kids, this is an awesome thing that they get to be a part of this, and that the proceeds give back via each purchase. So a tremendous deed, a great agreement between this hockey club and Pugaloop, and it's all to make a difference. And part of Toronto's number one focus and initiative was, okay, how can we as such make a difference and make ourselves stand out? And not only are they standing out because of their all women leadership group, but doing such things like this. And it just goes to show what an impact women can make in the world and on women's pro sports, which is something that in order to gain equality and equity is something that we're going to continue to see more of. So anyways, a great start there. And to round out this week's show, the Toronto Six had another full team practice last night at Kenlin Ice Sports in North York, which is, again, also home to the York Lions of U Sports in the OUA. And while there was work going on the ice, and I believe Mandy Cronin was there, general manager of the team, to lead that, there was also work being done off the ice as the dressing room starts coming together for the Toronto Six. It's going to take time, and that's to be expected. But it's exciting to see the progress that's been made so far. The benches from one of the dressing rooms were taken off, as were the shelves, just so they could get an idea of, okay, let's take a look at the room size. Let's see what we can work with. The shelves are going to have to go back on when they're done. But, there will be player stalls. They've got a lot of work to do. But they were committed to providing a locker room just for the Six. And so where the walls are white, beige and blue now, they're going to be red and white very soon. So that's also going to have a touch of gold, given the leaf in the middle of the Toronto Six logo, just as I forgot to mention that. So the only thing that concerns me off the bat, and a couple who I've spoken to, is the room size. However, if they can make it work and they can fit the whole team, which they might be able to, excellent. So I'm going to continue to keep updated on the going-ons of the Toronto Six. This is an exciting time as their instatement into the National Women's Hockey League continues to actually look real, look legit, and feel that way. They are hoping to begin play in January 2021, as they were supposed to before COVID-19 hit installed plans. So we're gonna have to wait and see what comes out of that. But it all depends on the border situation as they wait to make history as the first pro hockey team in Canada from the National Women's Hockey League. So it's going to be nice to have women's hockey here in the form of pro for the first time since the CWHL shuttered. Question is how, question is when, and we're going to, we're gonna have to wait to see what happens. But lastly, Taylor Woods was on NWHL Open Ice a couple nights ago, making her debut with GamerDoc. And she showed her talents in the form of, stick handling. And for any of you who haven't seen Open Ice before, I suggest that you watch this episode. It was a lot of fun and something that we're going to see hopefully more Toronto Six involvement with, in the season and seasons to come. So that does it for me on this episode of 6 and 6 on the BarnBurner TV Network and Zingo TV Channel 250. Make sure to follow the Toronto Six on Twitter at the Toronto Six, and for continuous updates from me with regards to coaching staff as coaches continue to be signed and brought back for this season. Hopefully we'll have something more on that soon as a 2020-21 season as they hope to have it is rightfully incoming. So that does it for me on this episode. You can also follow the NWHL on Twitter at NWHL and at the Puck Authority, along with myself at Justin Levine HBS, for further updates from my staff on the Toronto Six. So my name is Justin Levine, and I will see you guys again next week. Off.